it's Miss Katrina with a Thrilling Experiments Thursday video. So, we are about to start our class. I'm so excited. Alright, our first class is called Explore Your World, Observe Biology. So first thing you're going to do, you have your folder that you were given. This has lots of important things that you will need, including your own little booklet, which you can look through and it will help you go through it. So, our first activity is going to be called Is It Alive? Before I have you do that, there is something I need you to do. So, inside of your folder, you will find this. This is, actually this one, a little survey that we're going to have you do with some questions. So this one, which says complete before lessons. So this is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you fill it out. You're going to put your first name, your last name, your grade, and what school you're going to. It has questions like, do you think that science is blank? And it'll say A, fun, B, sort of fun, or C, boring. We just want to know what you're thinking. This is confidential, so only you and I will know what is on these. After you're done filling them out, they have a little address on it and a stamp, and I will have you put this in your mailbox and send it out. Alright. Another thing that you'll be given is this, which is your science notebook. So in these, it's just empty pieces of paper. And throughout all our lessons, you're going to be writing down, I'm going to ask you some questions or have you make some observations. I want you to write everything down. And you get to keep this, look through this. When we're all done with the classes, you can look through and be like, oh, this is what we did that day. This is what I learned. And really interested in seeing you with me in these classes. Okay, so once you have finished this one, and just do the one that's before classes. There's one that says complete after lessons. Do not send those until we're finished with everything. So the things you'll need for these classes after you have finished this and put it in your mailbox. I'll need you to bring out your books so you can help follow along with me. Your science notebook so you can take things down. Your class 1 bag, which will have all the classes for class 1 are what we're going to do on each subject. For instance, class 1 is biology, class 2 is chemistry, class 3 is physics, and class 4 is engineering. So in each video, I won't be doing all the activities that we have in each class, so I'll just have you pull out the things that I say to bring out for that class and do. And you'll want to also bring out your general supply kit, which you'll use throughout this class and the other classes. They also have pencil and a pen for you to use. And just a reminder, at any time, I will be going through this video fast. I'm going to be pausing my camera to do these things myself. So anytime when I go into one thing, you can pause your video, try to do it, and then unpause so that we can just do this together. So the first things I'm going to need you to get out of your general supply kit are going to be magnifying glass, a pen or a pencil, and then out of your folder I want you to get your notebook, your science notebook, so you can write things down, and you can get your pamphlet so you can follow along with me as well. So we're going to open up. This is the class 1. So the first thing I'm going to have you get out is one paper plate And I'm going to have you get out this little baggie which has all these different things in them. So please keep the rest of the things in here. We'll need those for our next activities. So let's get started. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to have you do is get your paper plate and put it on a flat surface. So in these bags, I'm going to have you take them all out, everything that's in there. Should be a sponge, moss, cotton ball, an eraser, which this one I believe is a little Dracula eraser. You put toothpick, a little shell, a plastic bead, and a little piece of gravel or rock. And so what I want you to do is I want you to get out your science notebook, use either pen or pencil, and I want you to write down some observations you have on these. How would you describe each of these items, and how would you classify these items? And what I want you to do is I want you to get out your magnifying glass and I want you to look at all of these. If you have it too far back, you're not going to be able to see it clearly, so you need to have it just close enough to where you can see it, but not too close, or else you're not going to be able to see it magnified. It's just going to be just like that. So I'll have you do that. Alright, and now I'm going to have you think about this. What of these things could you classify as living things or used to be alive? And what I want you to do is sort them out. So if you think, oh, these are living things, put that on the side of your plate and other things on the other side. And I want you to write down in your notebook what you think each thing is. If you think the cotton ball was a living thing, then I want you to write that down. Or if it came from a living thing, I want you to write that down. So this would be the time of the video where you would pause to do all this before I tell you which things were living things and which things aren't and why. Alright, now I have sorted into what has been a living thing and what hasn't. So, everything on your plate came from a living thing except for your plastic bead and your piece of gravel. So the cotton and the rubber come from plants. The wood, or the toothpick, comes from trees. And shells are made by living creatures called mollusks. And natural sponges, like this one, and moss natural sponges are animals that live on the ocean floor. And the moss, you can see just growing outside. And so this one is all dried up, and so this is dead. But it used to be alive. So even though most of the items came from living things, none of them are alive anymore. And I want you to write in your notebook what sort of things make something alive or not. And this would be the time when you would pause the video to do that. Alright, now that you have all written in your notebooks, I think it's time for some answers. So, the question whether something is alive or not can be complicated. Overall, most scientists agree that living things need food to stay alive, reproduce, can change and grow, and are more complex than non-living things. Can you think of exceptions to those rules? So one example would be crystals grow but are not alive. Some living things can go long periods of time without food also. More specifically, living things are made of cells. They respond to their environment, they use energy, reproduce, and move, which includes movement internally and or at a cellular level. In particular, animals, including humans, are living creatures that eat food, react to the world through their senses, and move around on their own. Alright, so if you have any questions that you still have or want to be answered, write them down in the comments. Include your name so that we know who you are, so I can check you off, show that you saw this video. And if you do comment, your name will be put into a weekly raffle, and I could give you a shout out. If your name's Sam, whatchamacallit, I can say, hey Sam, whatchamacallit, nice to see you in this class. Don't forget, like, comment, and I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one and learning together. Alright, bye-bye.